This is the CK859 from Omega, and it really is an odd release for a couple reasons that I think have little to do with the design. This awesome 40s era or World War II era sector dial design with classic elements in this beautiful, sub 40 millimeter case. I really like this design, but it's an odd release for a couple reasons, and I want to get your guys' take here. But when this was announced, they really, at least when I say they, I'm talking about Omega, I'm talking about the Swatch Group. It was very unheralded. It was very under the radar. In fact, it was almost a secret. Like, hey, we released a watch, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the new Aquaterra, which isn't in authorized dealers yet. We're going to talk about the new Ultra Deep, which isn't in authorized dealers yet. We're going to talk about the new Speedmaster, which is starting to hit authorized dealers now, and that is a heck of a watch. I will be reviewing that one here very, very shortly. I filmed this 859 as well as the new Speedmaster at Brent Miller Jewelers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania earlier this month. So shout out to that authorized dealer. But again, Omega was talking about the Speedmaster and Ultra Deep and Aquaterra. And to my knowledge, or at least to my memory, this was a secret release. This was an unheralded release. And if you blinked, you might have missed it. Now, that's a little bit strange in my opinion on its own, but here's where it gets even stranger. It's the fact that it has now been discontinued by Omega. So this enjoyed a less than 1 year production run. I believe, the first time I saw one was about 6 months ago. So very, very short amount of time, horologically speaking, when talking about a release from a large brand like Omega. This is out of the ordinary, at least to my memory for recent releases. So it makes me wonder a couple things, and this is where I would like your guys' opinion here. Is this design just too tailor-made to the extreme enthusiast or the historian, to those that already have, say, a Speedmaster or a Seamaster or a Planet Ocean or Constellation or a Globemaster? Is this one only appealing to a small select group of enthusiasts and not to the general luxury purchaser of timepieces? I wonder if it's just too far in left field. And so Omega said, hey, you know what? We're just going to cut our losses here. We've only made less than X amount. And I will give my estimate on how many they've produced here by the end of the video. But I wonder if this just didn't sell well, and that's why it's been discontinued after such a short amount of time. That certainly could be the case. Now, the other thing to consider, and I don't know if I'm just, getting way off the path here, and I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it is odd that Omega really didn't announce this release. They didn't promote this release, and it is discontinued after just a few short months. It almost makes me think that it's a strategy, like, hey, we're going to come out with something that's super cool, that's super different from our bread and butter of the Seamaster and Speedmaster, something that really will appeal to the most enthusiastic watch enthusiast. And then we're only going to make a certain amount and we're going to discontinue it. We're not even going to really talk about this model, and it will be that secret. And maybe in the future, Omega does other secret specialty edition watches that you really have to be paying attention to even notice when they're released. And then you have no idea when they're going to be discontinued. Could it be 6 months? Could it be 2 years? I wonder if this is a strategy on their part to hype up a little bit of their brand and maybe start to condition consumers to, hey, you know what? If I like this release, I might speculate on the length of the production, the number of the production, and I better jump on the ball right away before it's discontinued. And maybe there is some speculative watch enthusiasts that are purchasing Omega so that they can make money in future months and years as they are discontinued. Maybe they're exploring that area. I have no idea. Do I sound crazy? I know I sound crazy sometimes, but tell me your guys' opinion. Is this a strategy, or is this just a quick one and done pet project that really just doesn't appeal to enough people to warrant a production run of more than, say, 6 or 8 months? Really is a strange release. But that being said, I want to make it clear, I'm just talking about the circumstances of this release. As far as the watch goes, I love it. I love this silver dial. I love the long blued hands. I love the sector dial. I love the railroad track. I love the subsidiary seconds. I love the size. I love this movement. This is a very beautiful movement. And at least from a design perspective, I think whoever designed this, they obviously, they really thought about how this would present. You can see a little bit of a crescent shape in relief to where you see a gear moving. You can look at the balance, and the bridges have been sculpted out enough to where you see the entirety of the balance so it can oscillate, and how the arabesque patterns, how they match each other across different bridge members and main plate members. I think this is a very beautiful watch that is robust, right? Obviously, it's a master chronometer. It's anti-magnetic. It has the time zone feature. You have a respectable amount of power reserve. I think this one is a great release, a really great release. And if you're on the fence about maybe buying one, maybe this discontinuation pushes you over the edge, because at least as of right now, there are a couple here and there at authorized dealers around the country. I found this one at Brent Miller Jewelers as I was filming out there. So at least as of the time of recording this, they're still available here and there. So if you really like one, I think this one will go up in future, future months and years. And I have no idea how many Omega made. The one that I filmed here is number 956. And I've seen a couple others that are a little over 1,000, but it would not surprise me if this is a production run of 1,500 or less, or maybe 2,000 or less. I don't think it's one of those instances where Omega does like 7,000 and calls it a limited edition. I don't think that's the case. So very cool watch, very beautiful watch, a classic watch that has very odd circumstances around it. And I'm looking forward to seeing and reading your opinions in the comment section. So thank you for watching. Links in the description of the video. Again, shout out Brent Miller Jewelers. Have a great day, guys. See you next time.